What's up, guys? So if you followed my last video, you've seen the timing chain stuff with this car, the O2 GT, codename Grey Goose. Well, finally got to get one of the heads off, the bad one, the intake and all the stuff, and we're gonna go through today and show you guys some engine carnage. First things first, I pulled off that intake, and underneath it was a gigantic mouse or rat nest. That whole valley was full of insulation and other fun stuff. Boy, pulled the head off. And this is what's left of a valve. So, this is a driver's side cylinder head. And right there, as you can tell, she's missing part of it. I kind of went through here because, so this cylinder is the one that had the number 6. Number 6. I think on a 40, yeah, it's number 6. 7. Sorry, number 7 had a spark plug that was all beat to heck. Well, I'm pretty sure that was because of the valve coming up and breaking off and hitting it. I did just discover this one has a threaded insert too for the head. So, but yeah, this is the cylinder head off the driver's side. Had to break the dipstick tube to get this damn head off. It's heavy. So the heads are shot. I mean, this I also noticed too when I had the cams off it, that all the oil holes, so that's your oiling hole for the cam, that one, that's not even a hole, that's just some oil, but that one's clogged, that one's barely open, that one's full of metal, that one's full of metal, and that one's barely open. So these heads are junk. No matter how you look at, they're garbage. And so clean this off for you guys to see, but the piston obviously contacted it pretty good. That's kind of what it looks like. You can feel that. But the other ones don't look bad. The cylinder looks pretty good. I'm kind of on the debate now if I want to just buy a set of heads off a marketplace and then a timing set and then gaskets and oil pickup and oil pump and all that stuff, and just kind of do like a small rebuild on this engine just to make this one run and drive again, or if I want to buy a whole engine and just swap it in here. Kind of going that route right now. If you're just tuning in, here's what I think happened. So I got this car. Lady and the guy who sold it to me told me a whole bunch of stuff. There's that. Wasn't really sure what all was wrong with it. Got it home, and the valve cover on the side was off, and the rocker arms were 3 of them were sitting, well, one was sitting down to the head, and the other 2 were missing. So went and got 2 rocker arms, put them in there, and the car had fired up, but they kept kicking them out. The cam hold downs were broken. One was cracked, one was broken, so they wouldn't stay in there. So it's like, all right. Now I saw some scoring on the camshaft, so I'm like, well, it definitely lost oil pressure one time. Got cam hold downs for it. I put it all back together really nice. Went to crank it over. Turned over 180 degrees and it stopped. And I was like, all right, what the hell? And then it'd go back and forth 180, and that's all it would do. And did it by hand, and ended up finding out that the timing set, chain guides were broken, tensioners were bad, and all that crap got down the oil pan. That's a couple of pieces that were stuck in the crank sprocket. So I have a theory of what happened. I think when they were driving it, chain sprockets or the chain guides broke, fell in there, got stuck in the pickup tube for the oil, lost oil pressure at the top end, started squealing and squeaking, fried the cam hold downs, popped the rocker arms out, and then created a bad misfire. And then they got it back home. Then I got it, put a whole bunch of oil in this thing, and then the rocker arms with the old cam hold downs, but it had no fuel pressure. So I think the fuel pump had just died from sitting over time, and that was just a casualties happen from sitting. But I think when I went to put the cam hold on, I think that the rocker arm, because the cam is sitting down lower now, I think that the valve is open a little bit when I put it back together. And I think the timing was off a little bit because there was so much slack in these chains. I have a feeling the timing was probably off just a little bit, enough to where when I finally got it all put back together, piston came up, hit it, broke it off, and then dropped it down in there. And then now we're kind of just sitting here. So that's where we're at with this. Awfully familiar sight, like with that car, where they told me I need a motor also, and I'm like, all right, did my diagnostics, got it running, drove it, and then sure enough, number one had a 4-inch crack in the cylinder wall. So I stripped all the way down too. So some people are like, oh, just park the car out. I'm not doing that. There's a guy about an hour and a half from me who's got both front fenders, front bumper cover, and rear bumper cover for $200. I was repainting this one. Just looks like crap. Also got new headlights for this thing too, so I'm taking those headlights out and putting in here, and I bought new LEDs for that car. So I'll have new body panels, new headlights, new tail lights, brakes, interior's all redone nice. So I mean, it's turning into such a nice car, I don't want to just part it out or scrap it or sell it the way it sits. I mean, I bought paint and stuff to refinish the rims to make them look nice and paint them black. But that's basically what I want to do with this car. I want to keep it nice and make it look nice. But where we're at now, these heads are shit. They're garbage, they're junk. Sucky part about the automatic is that I can't bump the starter over to move this thing into my garage to pull the motor up. So we'll have to push it over there or whatever, but I found a motor I'm interested in. The guy said 350 for it. It's a 4.6 2-valve aluminum block out of a Mercury Mountaineer SUV. It's all complete, really nice looking condition. The guy swears up and down it ran great. Can't be any worse than this. So I figure I might go that route and buy that, and then buy those fenders and stuff right away and the bumper cover, and then get that done and get the car running and driving. But just a word to the wise, if you have a 4.6, 5.4, or 6.8, and you're hearing a metallic slapping noise, turn the motor off, because most likely you have a chain guide that broke, and now the timing chain is slapping around the chain guide, or the tensioner went bad, one of the two. So check that before this happens, so you don't blow your motor up, because honestly, I'm not really that mad about it, but it kind of sucks that I drove basically 2.5 hours, 3 hours round trip, whatever you want to call it, to get cam hold downs and then valve cover gas from a guy. He was a super cool dude. And it was a nice cruise in the Mach 1 in the summer with the old lady. So, it was, fun little road trip for us. Don't regret it at all. But drove all the way for basically nothing. And then I drove all the way out to Menominee Falls. So about 2 hours round trip to buy a valve cover because I broke that one. And all for nothing again. Granted, at least I had the parts now I can keep for spares. It just kind of sucks that, all that for kind of nothing. But, like I say, driving the Mach 1 is never a bad thing. Nice cruise before summer ends, so whatever. But I'd really like to drive this car at least on the road. I did drive this car, just not on the road yet. And everything else on it's done. All it needs is the engine to be fixed. And everything else sounds good. So we're kind of at that point now where it's like, well, it wouldn't take much for me to just buy a set of heads for it, slap the heads back on, buy a timing set for it, drop the oil pan, obviously replace the oil pump in the pickup tube, but for what's in the cost for all new parts, for a set of heads, all the gaskets, the head changing kit for the bolts and everything, and then the timing set, oil pump, oil pan, that's $600-700 right there versus a whole complete engine for $350. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. If I'm not really sure what I want to do, but that's about it. Anybody wants to comment down below. Look forward to reading your comments, good, bad, or otherwise. I drove this car earlier today. It felt good. I miss driving that car. I was still trying to break the clutch and stuff in on that thing, so. But yeah, so that's all I got. This is the pile of parts that, oh, I don't know if I showed you guys this, but this is the camshaft. That's how scored this thing was, just destroyed. So the cam's trashed. Yeah, so very, very, very familiar looking sight with this car. I might rename this channel to Tyler's Restoration, because it seems like everything I buy ends up getting a restoration, because I find the winners and then it's like, oh yeah, this will be easy, and then, 3,000, 4,000 later, and tons and tons of time, they're finally good to go. But I had fun doing that project. Having fun doing this project. Been trying to source. I finally bought a PI intake for that car, so I'm going to throw a PI intake on there with my BBK valve, throttle body and plenum. Then I bought headlights for it, so I put those headlights on here with different fenders, different bumper covers, and the body up front will look all nice. I'm going to end up buying all new black striping to cover up this old checked crap. I tried getting this stuff off, and it's not wanting to come off, so I'm just going to clean it up and then put new stripes over it, and it's called a day. And then the wheel well rust, the dents are what the dents are. I'm kind of debating leaving this alone, just driving this car in the winter. Just have it for a nice daily driver, since it's an automatic and, it's high miles, and I don't want to spend a lot of money and time trying to fix the wheel wells in the back. It's just not that nice of a car to want to do that work to, but I don't know, who knows. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, so once again, valve broke, hit the piston, and she said, hasta luego, baby, we're gone. And away she went. So, talk to you guys later.